Welcome to the Teapot Reads. My name's Sam. I'm the Teapot. This is what I'm currently reading. And I'm so happy to see you today. Hello and welcome, most excitingly, to the first in a new series of videos I am doing on this channel. I have wanted to do something like this for a really long time. And yeah, I finally sat down and started planning it, and I'm really excited to do it. I'm going to be doing our book recommendation video for every season of the Zodiac calendar. I'm not super into zodiac signs, but I know sort of the very basics of it, and I did a little more research ahead of this video, especially for Sagittarius season, and I thought it would just be really fun to do. This is going to be a pretty quick recommend video because I don't want to give too much away of these books, and I really don't want to ramble. I just want to explain what they are and why they're perfect for this season. So I'm not basing these recommendations necessarily off of specific characters, though sometimes I did, but in general, the vibes of the books and the energy that the books give off, and if they would be good to read this season rather than if they'd be good for someone who is a Sagittarius, though I do think that's a little interchangeable. So if you are a Sagittarius and you're looking for some books, this is also kind of a curated recommendation video for you and your sign. First of all, I am recommending All of Us Villains. This is by Amanda Foody, and I think they're going by Charlie Herman now. I will correct myself if I am wrong, but I do believe. It is by this pair. It is fantastic. I actually have my review for this posted, so if you're curious on deeper thoughts, check there. It is basically Atlas 6 meets Caraval meets Hunger Games. It is a competition between 7 families, 7 competitors, fight to the death to see which family is going to have control of magic until the next competition rolls around, which is every couple generations. Maybe it's every 50 years. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact time. Like the title tells you, all of these characters are villains. They do bad things. They're not irredeemable, but they do not have to be completely redeemed to be enjoyable characters. They are just fantastic all the way through. The 2 reasons I think this would be really perfect for Sagittarius season is that these characters across the board, their motivations and their decision-based things tend to happen because of emotions. Some of them claim that they're thinking things through, and to a degree I think that there is a lot of logic placed into a lot of these characters' decisions, but this is really twisty books, and characters are kind of hopping between alliances the entire time, not just in book 1 but in book 2 as well, and a lot of those alliances are formed because of emotional ties, whether negative or positive. It's really fantastic. And even when characters are claiming they're making a decision for non-emotional reasons, no, they're definitely guided by their hearts, you know? I also see the theme of being obsessed with self-improvement sort of twisted around here, because a lot of the characters are actually more obsessed with getting powerful curses, but in a way they're trying to improve their skills and their curses in order to win the competition. And most particularly, I think we see that happen with Gavin in this series, though he's not the only one by and far, but this book and the series is really heavily rooted in what can you do to be the most powerful person, not just with our protagonist, but with everyone across the board. And there is this sort of twisted theme of self-improvement going on throughout. Then I have Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell, and as you saw at the beginning, I'm actually reading the companion to this right now, Ocean's Echo. I am thoroughly obsessed with Everina Maxwell's writing. Just off the bat, I'm going to tell you that I'm a little biased. This book and Ocean's Echo are definitely going to be showing up in a lot of videos moving forward. This is one of my favorite kind of tropey books. Reads a lot like fan fiction. Basically, Cam, a prince from the Iskat Empire, look at me remembering terms correctly, ends up rushedly engaged to his cousin Tom's widower, Count Jinan, who is from another planet in this empire. And he's rushed into this engagement and marriage because they are both diplomatic parties in an upcoming peace treaty signing, basically. But they discover that there is something shady with Prince Tom's death, and they start to investigate. This book, for all its investigation and mystery plot, is sort of a rom-com at its heart, and is very much a angsty-filled relationship book that it is still incredibly light and such a pleasure to read. And that's why I see the theme as friendliest person at the party. You see that a lot in Kiam himself. He is very friendly, very suave, very much the walking diplomat type character, the walking carefree rich guy character. Like, it's great. He's really great. But I do think in general, this book, if you're going to stack it up with pretty much every other sci-fi book I own, it does handle serious topics, but the writing itself is so fun and so engaging and so light that it clings to you, but it doesn't suffocate you. And I think that if I was going to have a party amongst all of the like sci-fi books, especially that are popular right now, this would be the friendliest one at the party. Then we have The Raven Boys. Honestly, this is a recommendation for the entire Raven cycle. I'm not going to say it's a recommendation for the Ronin trilogy, the Dreamer trilogy, because while I do like them, I do think those give off very different vibes. If you've not heard of these, it means that I haven't talked about them enough. But basically, it is about a bunch of teenagers on the quest to find a dead Welsh king, and also there are ghosts and psychics and hitmen. It's really good. I picked this honestly quite a bit because of Gansey himself. He's one of our protagonists. I want to say one of the two main protagonists. There really are a lot, but Gansey and Blue really do lead the book. Sagittarius is a fire sign, which means high motivation, lots of energy, very passionate, and Gansey is all those things for his dead Welsh king. But I do think in general all of the friends feel the sort of bond between them. It's really a strong relationship, and it's the core of it. There's definitely this passion, this motivation that carries the reader through the books and carries the plots forward each time. Pretty much every single character we meet is driven by one thing or another and completely driven. We also have in Gansey a highly effective leader. I don't think he's always making the best decisions, but he is always leading pretty well, actually, I would say. I think he's pretty great character. And the final reason I really picked this for Sagittarius season, and this is probably the big one, is that it is almost like culturally and intellectually a brilliant piece. It may be a little weird, but it's not an easy read. It's definitely easier than some books out there, but it's not an easy read, and you really have to be kind of engaged with the book, with the writing, with the text. And I think that makes it a really rewarding story, and definitely I think makes you feel a little pretentious when you're done with it. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think you have to be pretentious to read it and enjoy it, but I do think that you feel a little like pleased with yourself after doing it, like very erudite, you know? So yeah, that is the biggest reason. It is a difficult read, but it's well worth the thinking that you're going to have to put into it, because you're going to get out so much. And the final novel I'm going to recommend is In Other Lands by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is about Elliot Schaefer, who finds out he can see into another land and is invited to join a school there, which he does. And it is the magical school done very differently than probably you've ever seen before. I do think it skews a little more towards Camp Half-Blood than anything else, but Elliot is a pacifist, and he is trying to actually ensue peace rather than fight battles. Battles are fought, and there is warrior class stuff going on, but Elliot's really there to try to make the world a better place. I really liked that. But why did I choose it for Sagittarius season? Number one, all three of these reasons really have to do with Elliot himself. I do not remember, no, his birthday I want to say is like in the summer, so he's not a Sagittarius, but I do think that he has a lot of Sagittarius seasonal traits. One, fire sign, very passionate, very motivated. He is going to get shit done. He is very much a self-motivated character, especially because he doesn't have a lot else to be keeping him going, you know. He also has a lot of cultural and intellectual interests, even though they're weird, especially for the world he's in. He's very much trying to bring technology into the other lands almost constantly, and it's not always a good thing, but like that is what he's doing. He's very like been focused on like everything he does, and he's very intellectually motivated by learning more about the other magical creatures out there, especially mermaids, you know, especially mermaids. And the final reason is he will tell the truth to hurt someone. He does not sugarcoat things. He has to kind of learn to be a more functioning person as the book progresses, but he is not someone who is going to try to soften his blows with his words. And in general, this book has a lot of emotional punches and does not try to soften its words with the reader. You have to sit there and, I don't want to say take it, because it's a pleasure to read this book, but you do have to sit there and really stew in some of the things being said, and know that you do not always agree with our protagonist Elliot, and that sometimes he's in the wrong and sometimes he's in the right, and you hurt with him either way. This book, it does not pull punches. It's fantastic. And the final recommendation I have is actually for a manga, but it is kind of buried at the moment, so I did not dig out my copy of volume 1, but that is Way of the House Husband by Kosuke Uni, which I know I've just pronounced that wrong. Kosuke Uno. Maybe I got somewhere close in one of those pronunciations. Why did I choose this? This series does not have an indoor voice at all. Very loud in the best way, you know, but loud. It is a loud series. It's fantastic. There is obsession with self-improvement and just house husbanding being the best one, you know, as you do. And again, a lot of fire sign stuff going on, a lot of passion, a lot of motivation, a lot of just gotta be the best. Yeah, all the way through. So those are my 5 recommendations for Sagittarius season. I would love to hear if you have read any of these books and really liked them, because I think, yeah, every single book I recommended has been like a favorite of mine. So if you hated them, tell me, but tell me gently. And if you liked this video, please let me know. I really do plan to do a series of this. So like 1 video a month for each of the zodiac signs, and hopefully it'll fall right around the beginning of each season. Yeah, if I'm totally wrong about like information about the signs, do let me know. It's something I'm trying to learn a little bit more about. I don't want to get like deep into it because that is too much information for me to handle, but I do want to have like a decent grasp, because people are always like, oh, you must be at like XYZ, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, why would you say that? Tell me more. So this is also kind of an exercise for me to learn more about the signs and their personalities. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you today. If you're somewhere cold, I hope you're staying warm. If you're somewhere warm, I hope you're staying comfortable. And most of all, I hope you're reading a great book. I will see you guys next time. Bye.